Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. We'll begin our ceremony shortly. At this time, please make sure all electronic devices are turned off or set to the silent position. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this morning's ceremony. I am Major C.J. Hale, and it is my distinct honor to serve as your narrator today. The men and women of the United States Air Force, in keeping with one of the oldest traditions in military service, pay special tribute to the commander of the Spot Center for Officer Education and Commandant of the Air War College, Major General Brian T. Bishop, on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Air Force. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Colonel Hal Hoxie, United States Air Force retired, and currently president of Central Christian College in McPherson, Kansas. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our special guest joining us. Please hold your applause until everyone is introduced. Mrs. Linda Lindquist Bishop, wife of Major General Bishop. Ms. Kathy Hoxie, wife of Colonel Hoxie. Ms. Vienna Bishop, mother of Major General Bishop. Mr. Marvin Bishop, father of Major General Bishop. Mr. David Lindquist, brother of Linda Lindquist Bishop, his wife Dana, and their daughter Hannah. Mrs. Betty Smeichel, Linda's aunt. Mr. Ken Griffith, Linda's uncle, and Kay Murphy, Linda's cousin. There are a number of key civilian and military leaders who we would like to recognize. The Commander, Air University, Lieutenant General Stephen Quast and his wife Joni. The Director of City Investigations, Lieutenant General Ronald Sams, U.S. Air Force retired, and his wife Diane. Former Commander of Air University, Lieutenant General David Fadock, U.S. Air Force retired, and his wife Kat. Mobilization Assistant to the Air University Commander, Major General Jocelyn Singh. Senior Advisor for the Commander and President of Air University, Mr. Michael Gray. Provost of Air University, Dr. Grant Hammond. Vice President for Academic Affairs, Air Universities, Dr. Matthew Stafford. The Director, Air Force Research Institute and Air University Integration, Outreach, Transformation, Lieutenant General Alan Peck, U.S. Air Force retired. CEO of Ballard Companies, Incorporated, Major General Bowen Ballard, U.S. Air Force retired. The Commander, Home Center for Officer Accessions, Brigadier General Paul Gimmer and his wife Cindy. Anne Marie Deal, spouse of Brigadier General Thomas Deal, and the Command Chief of Air University, Chief Master Sergeant Timothy Horn and his wife Allison. And last but not least, we would like to welcome all other commanders, commandants, directors, command chief, retired military, community leaders, friends from near and far, and the members of the Maxwell Gunter team. We are honored to have each of you here for this special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for our national anthem by Mr. LaRon Washington and the invocation by Mr. David Lindquist.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Let us pray. Dear God, you call into being the dry lands and the seas, the sky and the space beyond, the universe that stretches the very limits of our imagination. In this vastness, you know us and call us by name. We acknowledge the mysteries of your ways and things that are beyond our control, yet we seek to care for and protect our families and all of the people that we care about so deeply. Today we give thanks for everyone in our country who has served and who continues to serve and sacrifice for the freedom and the safety of others. We especially give thanks for Brian's life and career of service to the Air Force and to our country. He has used all of his gifts and talents to strengthen and protect his country, his community, and every person with whom he lives and works. We acknowledge that the cup of blessings truly runneth over. We thank you for each of the people who have shaped and nurtured Brian's life, for his mother and father, his brother, his wife, his classmates, teachers, and colleagues, for friends and family who have loved and continue to love, support, and encourage Brian to reach higher, to never stop learning, to serve bravely, to want the best for every person he encounters, and to drink deeply from the gift of friendship. Our God, we pray that there are many miles yet to be traveled, many chapters yet to be written, and many flights yet to be flown. But today we strain our ears in hope of hearing those words from you, that for this season and for this challenge, Brian has fought the good fight and run the race in such a way as to win. Please continue to bless Brian and Linda and all of the people connected to their lives. Finally, God, in the midst of these many blessings, we are bold to pray for continuing safety of this country that we love. In the name of the one who is Creator, Sustainer, and Redeemer, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Thank you, Mr. Lindquist. Please be seated. A retirement ceremony represents the culmination of a distinguished career in the service of the United States Armed Forces. It also pays special tribute to the personal sacrifices and professional excellence that have traditionally been keys to greatness, and at times, the survival of America. We have assembled today to give recognition to Major General Bishop and pay special tribute to his Air Force career. Throughout his career, Major General Bishop has demonstrated a passion for our nation and the men and women who serve it. His loyalty and dedication to country stand as an example for those of you who continue to carry the Air Force banner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Colonel Hoxie to reflect on General Bishop's service, career, and accomplishments.
Thank you. Is this thing working?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. So don't worry about the hoaxy thing. My password and all my at home is HAWKSII. That's the Polish spelling for Hoxie. Anyway, first of all, thanks General Bishop and Linda for the honor of presiding over the event today. Kathy and I had the privilege of having General Bishop serve as our presiding officer in 2010 when we retired. And sir, to return that favor, it's going to be a lifelong friendship. You're not going to get away. Hopefully over the next few minutes, we can share some memories and reminisce about Major General Bishop and Linda Lindquist Bishop and their life together. Because as the narrator just said, this event isn't about us. It's really about everybody getting a chance to say thank you for service to our country, because we have two people here who have served with professional excellence have sacrificed for their country. And what's amazing is they're willing to personally sacrifice things that they could be doing just for the honor and privilege of serving our country and protecting our freedom. So that's what this is about. Kathy and I met Bebop and Linda when we first arrived at the Air Force Academy in 2001. I was a soaring squadron commander there, and General Bishop was coming in to be the 34th Operations Group Commander. And as is always the case, when you get a new commander, there's a whole bunch of apprehension because, uh-oh. And if you've been to the Air Force Academy, the airfield is about 4 miles from anybody important. So we're living down there on the airfield, and now we're getting a new boss. Everybody's a little nervous. That's okay, until we read his bio. Newly married, holy cow, fighter pilot, Thunderbird lead, just coming out of school, 6'2", looks good in a flight suit, got the cool haircut. Uh-oh. Now I'm an F-15 pilot. So I'm thinking I'm pretty cocky, but anyway. Here he comes, and we didn't know what we thought. And so General Bishop showed up on campus, and in the first meeting, I found out how wrong I really was. And the trepidation was a waste of stress. He stood up in front of everybody, and he said, I'm passionate about the mission, and I'm passionate about people, and I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure you guys are passionate too. Like, whoa, it was a challenge on day one. It was awesome. I also discovered that he's a visionary and a dreamer, so there's some entrepreneurship in his blood, and we found that we're kindred spirits in that regard, and we spent hours planning the future for all of you, and us and everybody else we could think of if we only had $1 billion. That started a friendship, a lifelong mentorship that I hope continues forever, and we spent much time together in the past years talking that way, talking about leadership challenges, and I really feel like I'm a better leader because of our time together, so thank you for that. Okay, the bishops. First General Bishop. I don't know how you guys feel about the core values, but integrity, excellence, and service is kind of how I want to just tell a couple of stories about General Bishop. His integrity is beyond reproach, and it's not what people say, it's what they do. That's what we see in their actions, and that's what I see in his integrity. And it's risky, because as his commander, for example, and all of you will attest, if you've worked for General Bishop, he gives you the room to operate, and he encourages you when you do well, and then when you need a correction, course correction, he's right there to help you learn from whatever happened. And he's got your back, and all of us knew that. And all of you are shaking your head, that's exactly right. And that's risky for a senior leader, because when you fail, they look bad. But he was willing to take that risk. And if there's anything about his leadership style that I want you to remember is, and apply it if you can, he cared about us. He cared about us every day. He cared about our families. But in the end, he still was passionate about mission. And mission and people were the bedrock of his integrity. And so when you failed, he gave you the room to recover. I got one story about that. So it was at the Air Force Academy. And at the Air Force Academy, when it snows, they only have one snowplow. That's ridiculous. The place is huge. And it's the Air Force, right? What's the first thing in the Air Force that gets plowed when it snows? Runway, right? Not at the Air Force Academy. Holy cow, they don't even care. Well, I was all stressed out that day thinking, well, come on, Air Force. How come we're not plowing the runway? Because the cadets live up on the hill, and that's where they're going to plow. Well, 40 cadets are sitting down there at the airfield, and there's 6 inches of snow on the runway, and I don't know what to do about it, and I'm irritated. So I call up the tower and say, Tower, I want to check the RCR. And that's where you run down somebody in ops usually runs down the runway and says, yes, it's dry. Well, it's not dry, and I want to go check it. Well, I was the commander. What was the guy going to say to me? So he cleared me onto the runway, so I went and got my Mustang. That's right, 1999. Remember this? It was so fun. Got in my Mustang, got on that runway, and tore off down towards the tower. Right in the middle of the tower, snapped that wheel, and the car just started spinning. And the cadets were all cheering as I went by. Now, they don't really let you do that in the United States Air Force on their runways. So about 2 minutes later, I'm back in the squadron, and he pops on the phone. Tell me you didn't do what I just was told you did. No, sir, I really dorked that up. And all he said on the phone, and I'll never forget it, is, "I'm going to tell my boss you're an idiot." And wham, he hangs up. I don't know if you remember that. So what is a commander in the Air Force doing that for? Well, what I really learned is there were no other repercussions other than that. But what I knew instantly is I'd let my own commander down. The guy I trusted the most. And I just couldn't pick myself up. I had to apologize and learn really fast. Don't let the boss down. Do whatever it takes to make sure he looks good. And I let him down. And he took the heat. I don't know what happened, honestly, but you know, your integrity shined through on that, sir. And I appreciate it forever. And I don't cut that break to my bosses or the guys who work for me today. Forget it. Just kidding. Okay. I've mentioned that. So it's integrity, it's excellence. I do want to talk about his excellence for a degree. You know that he was a FAPE, first assignment instructor pilot, T-37 guy. Did very well in the FAPE world. And for those of you, if your first assignment is an instructor pilot in the Air Force, the odds of you getting an F anything are pretty slim, which means he flew well as an instructor, rose to the top, and they selected him to fly F-16s, fly Vipers. And he went out in the Air Force and started flying and rose to the top to the point where the Air Force selected him to be the Thunderbird commander. Anybody else? There aren't many. When our Air Force selects someone to be the face of our nation and our fighter force, that says something about his flying skill. Not only flying, and this is something that's not in his bio and he would never admit it, but did you know that he's been selected as either the top grad or a distinguished grad in every school course that he's ever taken as an officer? It says something about his personality and who he is as a person, that when he goes for it, he goes for it. And that's excellence. So integrity and excellence are above reports, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. We can only be that way, and I strive to be that today because of good examples like General Bishop. So I mentioned two of the core values, but all of you will agree, all of us will agree, that if you've ever worked with him, service for others is his real leadership trademark. No matter what is written or who you ask, General Bishop always puts mission and people first. He was a commander in wartime over in Balad. He was the Wolf Pack commander over in Korea. He had the opportunity to serve as a commander in peace and war, and our country is better for it. And the men and women who served underneath him, I know, flew well, fought well, and trained well because of that standard of him walking in saying, I care. Not saying it, just doing it. I'm impressed with that, sir. And I hope I can live up to that. Okay, so a summary, I'll give it to you as given. When you were working for him and you had a shot and you wanted to lead, he let you. You needed encouragement, he picked you up. And we already talked about the other side. When he needed to help you, he was right there. I do want to say a little bit about Linda. Of course, Linda and Brian showed up at the academy when we were just new there, and this transition, this bonding began to occur. But in Linda, actually, General Bishop met his match. I just need you guys to know that. Linda has as much passion for leadership and people as General Bishop. She's demonstrated that passion to us throughout the 15 years or so we've known her, and it's awesome. Do you know that Linda's started at least 2 businesses that I know of? She's been the editor of the elite sailing magazine in the United States. She served on the America's Cup women's team in the 90s. That's the elite yacht team in the United States. She still sails competitively, and we're all jealous because she just got back from Italy 2 days ago, just sailing around the world on a team. Her team actually finished 3rd, and it's in a bit of a league, but it's really a warm-up for the nationals later or the world championships later this summer. So good luck on that, Linda. When you get to know her, she's pretty passionate, and that's why it's fun to get to know these two. Together, Brian and Linda chose to band together in marriage, and they made a team. They've both made tremendous sacrifices for each other, and they've spent a lot of time apart. Yet despite that, when we have been together with them, one thing shines and this isn't going to surprise anybody, and that's the gift of hospitality. And it's a special gift. They're those people. They're those Air Force people we always talk about. You know, you can call them up, haven't seen them for about a year. Yo, we're in town. Can we come over? Come on, we've all done it, and you know it. Well, they're those people. And they have done that for us time and time again throughout, and they'll drop everything, and we're family because of that. There's one story was in D.C. They lived in Old Town, Virginia, and we love Old Town, Alexandria. Oh man, it's going to be great. Wonder what Bebop's doing. Oh, you must be doing something important, because I'm not. Anyway, sir, what are you doing? Linda was there. They set up a evening at dusk trip in which we got in their boat, and it's full of food and wine and cheese, and we're going to have a great time on this boat. And we got on the Potomac, and we left Old Town, and we drove up the Potomac just like you could have done in 1780. It was beautiful, and it was night, and have you ever seen the monuments from the Potomac River? Man, that was such a gift to see that beauty and to look at our history and to think of, and then we finished up clear up to Georgetown with all the lights on. Do it sometime. Force them to live in Old Town Alexandria and then call them up. It was a great time. Anyway, sorry, that was a fun time. But it really, I guess my point there is to saying, one of the things that Kathy and I have relished is being their friends, but then learning how to serve others like that, show that kind of hospitality. Wow. They're those people. The last thing I want to say, and I want to say it to you too, and I want everybody to hear it, is, you know, we've been thinking about this. It's a retirement ceremony, and you all face it. I faced it, and eventually you make the decision, and if you haven't, you're wondering, holy smokes, what am I going to do when I grow up? Because it's not really retirement. There's life after your service here. Well, did you guys know that Linda gave a TED Talk? That's right, it's pretty good. If you haven't heard it, go look on YouTube, look it up. Look up the words, go climb that mountain. Okay, so all I would say to you guys is you need to go hear a story of a single lady, highly successful career woman, who walks off the deep end into the pool and marries him. She surrounds that story, but man, when you watch the tape, you're inspired and you're challenged. Continue serving other people. Find that next thing in your life. And so what you really should do when all the events are over, and since I'm advising you, this is what go home, go up to that cabin, build a fire, get that cool little stool that you got last night, put some stuff on it, look out over that water, plug in your device and listen to your own TED Talk. Because guess what? You two are on the top of the mountain right now. You did it. And we're here to say thanks for that, because we're better people for it. But while you're sitting there looking at the fire, look at all of the other hills, all those mountains around you that you get the chance to climb, and you get to pick. And yep, Linda says there's valleys. There are, because you go learn new things, you go try new things, you take chances, and you go for it. That's inspiring. You probably ought to hear your own talk, you two, because that's what's next. We, your friends, we Americans are better human beings because of the service that you gave to us. And we're going to miss you. But you have been blessed. The Lord is with you. So serve Him, serve each other, serve your family. But go climb that next mountain so we can see all the other people you're going to impact in life. We're going to miss you here, but we'll chase you around. God bless you. We're going to pray for you forever. That's it. You can throw those away. Sorry, brother.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Colonel Hoxie presents Major General Bishop with the Distinguished Service Medal.
Tuck this thing in.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, July 9, 1918, awards the Distinguished Service Medal to Major General Brian T. Bishop for exceptionally meritorious service in duties of great responsibility. General Bishop distinguished himself as Commander Carl A. Spot Center for Officer Education and Commandant Air War College, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama, from 19 August 2013 to 30 June 2015. In this important assignment, General Bishop directly impacted the professional military education experience for over 50,000 resident and non-resident United States and total force company grade, field grade, and international officers and senior government civilians attending the Squadron Officer College, Air Command and Staff College, Air War College, International Officer School, and Academic Research Center. Under his leadership, the center aggressively initiated the largest and most comprehensive officer professional military education transformation initiative in the 64-year history of Air University, creating a modularized, credit-based, synchronized system consistent with the vision of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and the Commander, Air Education and Training Command. Additionally, General Bishop oversaw the development of a 5-week Squadron Officer School curriculum, allowing a 20% increase in production to meet the Chief of Staff's guidance for an in-resident attendance for all active duty captains. Finally, he led the Air War College through the process for accreditation of Joint Education Review, handling earning a 6-year reaccreditation and Best Seen accolades from the seasoned inspection team. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of General Bishop culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect the highest credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retirement portion of today's ceremony. Attention to orders. Special Order Number ACG-000062. Major General Brian T. Bishop, Commander, Carl A. Spot Center for Officer Education and Commandant Air War College, effective 30 June 2015. You are relieved from active duty and retired effective 1 July 2015 per AFI 36-3203 in the grade of Major General by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Please be seated. Colonel Hoxie will now present Major General Bishop with his retirement certificate. The certificate reads as follows. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these, presents greeting. This is to certify that Major General Brian T. Bishop, United States Air Force, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on this first day of July 2015. Signed, Mark A. Welsh III, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff. Linda, will you please come forward for your retirement pin, ma'am? Colonel Hoxie will now present Mrs. Linda Lindquist Bishop with a Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. Her certificate reads as follows. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents the Certificate of Recognition to Mrs. Linda P. Lindquist Bishop for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. On the first day of July 2015, signed Mark A. Welsh III, General, United States Chief of Staff. At this time, Linda has something for General Bishop. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Where's it? Thanks. Well, I'm so excited to venture into this new chapter with you together. And I know we'll bring the Air Force with us. we just have an incredible thing to step into. We're going to a beautiful place. We're going to be surrounded by people we love. We have a beautiful new home. And there's only one thing missing. But he arrives in September.
Sure. Woohoo!
She's pregnant, so.
Major General Bishop, we are pleased to present you with the following certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation as a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the 32 years of selfless service to our nation by Major General Bishop, the Barnes Center Academic Affairs Teams, Senior Master Sergeant Christopher Robinson, Master Sergeant Doug Smith, and Master Sergeant Jerome Clark will now perform a ceremonial flag folding. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as the source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and the Union be the 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, this American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans, both home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today our flag flies on a constellation of Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the fin flash our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our Air Force, nor the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans have been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and to all. Long may it wave. Thank you to the Barnes. Thank you to the Barnes Center Academic Affairs team for their touching tribute to our flag. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please enjoy a short video presentation honoring General Bishop.
As a bow shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you can lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away on the road.
I've swallowed my pride for you, lived in light for you, but you still make me feel like a thief. You got me stealing your love away, 'cause you never give it. Peeling the years away, and we can't relive it. Oh, I make you laugh, and you make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. Oh, I've got to set myself free. Time for me to fly. That's just how it's got to be. I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly.
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow, they learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Major General Brian T. Bishop, United States Air Force, retired.
So this is what it feels like when you stand up here. Holy crap. First, I have to thank God for giving me all the opportunities that He's been giving me to be able to do so many things in my life, to marry the most amazing woman in the world, and to be with each and every one of you. And you guys all honor me today by being here. General Quas, Joni, thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for allowing us to do the things we need to do. General Sams, General Fadok, General Peck, Mike, Matthew, Grant, the leadership team at AU has been tremendous to work for. Paul and Cindy, Chief Horn, Allison, you guys are awesome. This is a great way to go out, so thank you very much. To the other commanders that are here, it's been an honor for me to serve with you and be part of the things that we do day to day. To our Montgomery partners, Joe, Mike, Steve, Joe, Bowen, I'm missing a couple here. There's another one or two. Will and Lee here in the back. As I said last night, we have got such a fantastic relationship with the city of Montgomery. We could not do it without you. And so we just so welcome your support and so welcome everything that you provide for us, from our international officers to just the things that you do day to day. Just thank you very, very, very much. Okay, the amazing, there they are, the amazing Quad 4, Joni, Cindy, Nicole, and Stacy. You guys rock. Putting everything together last night, getting that all arranged, getting everything ready for today. And oh, by the way, we only have an awards ceremony and graduation to go to tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. And I know we piled a lot on you, but this is really amazing. So as I thought about the retirement ceremony, what I wanted to try to portray during it, I wanted to make sure that we had elements of all of our Air Force here. And part of that comes from our youngest senior airman, from Airman G and Airman Myrick here being part of this, and our other escorts that we have. Thank you guys for being part of it. Our NCOs with Nicole Bartley over here helping that out. Our senior NCOs from the Senior Non-Commissioned Officers Academy. Wasn't that flag folding ceremony amazing? That was truly amazing. We have our officer corps is represented by CJ and many others, and Stacy, who also helped. We have our civilians with Cindy and Joni here, and also Mr. Washington. You rock the house. Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. So this is the hard part, and this is the thank you part. And this is thank you to each and every one of you for allowing Linda and me to do so much and to experience so much. And to the War College faculty, to my 42nd Air Base Wing friends, other center friends, the students that are here, it has been a truly amazing experience, and I can't think of a better way to go out from a great Air Force career or an Air Force career. It's been truly amazing. We talked some about friends last night, and we have so many of them represented up front here. I'm not going to go through them again, but I just want to say thank you to you all for making the travel. It means the world to us to have you here. You have no idea how much you honor us by being here. And now the hardest part is getting to family. And so what I want to start here first with, kind of from a Leland connection, we get Aunt Betty, Uncle Ralph, we know he's here, Kay and Ken. Just, Ken, I didn't think you want a flower, so. But I just want to say thank you guys all for coming. We had a Leland and a Chicago connection since Linda and I met in Chicago. It means the world that you guys are here, so thank you very, very, very much. One other piece of the flag folding, or one other piece of the ceremony that I really wanted to have, and that was the flag folding ceremony. And we do that in different ways. I saw the Senior NCO Academy do that at Jeff Dunn's retirement, and it just truly moved me. The way that the professionalism that they do and how they conduct themselves as our senior NCOs, and the things that they do for our Air Force, and the things that officers rely on senior NCOs to do. They a lot of times have to do all the dirty work and do all the really hard stuff, and they're the ones that are out there in the middle of the night making sure jets are ready to fly, or making sure that satellites are flying, or making sure so many other things are flying out there. But the flag ceremony to me was very, very important, and that's why I really asked those guys to come over and be part of it. The flag to me has become a symbol of more than just our nation. I was able to watch a gentleman, I actually watched Bono speak, and he talked about America, and he said, the thing about America is that it's not just a nation, but it's a way of life. It's the freedoms, it's the democracy, it's the economic system. It's the hope that America gives the rest of the world to be able to do so many incredible things. But I didn't connect on the flag symbolism piece until I was a cadet. And I was between my dually and my 3-degree year, or my freshman and my sophomore year. And we were going through survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. And we were in the POW compound. And it sucked. And we had studied about all of the POWs from Vietnam who'd been around and had been in POW compounds anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 years. And we'd been in the POW compound for 4 days, maybe 3. It sure seemed like a week, though. And we were there in the open area forum. They formed all of the prisoners up in the open air. And the camp commandant, who was our enemy, essentially told us that we were worthless and weak, and our nation would never be as strong as his nation, and that our nation was always going to falter. And he was about ready to show us why his nation was always going to be better. And so they said about face, and on went the national anthem and the American flag. This flag was given to me when I was a brand new Eagle Scout, very young. It has been with me my entire career. It's been with me in every airplane that I've flown. It's been with me in peacetime and combat. And it was when I was going through the POW compound that I really realized what this meant as a symbol to our nation. So you'll see a theme in the follow-on gifts here. First, to Goose and Kathy. You guys are so much a part of our lives and have been so generous with your mentorship and your leadership and your encouragement. And when Linda and I were brand newly married, Kathy reached out and she put her arm around Linda and said, "Let me show you where the commissary is." And let me show you where the BX is. And that was just huge. And you guys taught us so much about being leaders in the Air Force, and just thank you so much. So Kathy, if you'd come up, and Goose, if you come over here. I have a flag for you. This flag was flown in combat over Iraq. And I would like to just present it to you and as a small thank you for you guys coming out here and being part of this. We'll put it back over here. Just keep the certificate. So, to my brother and sister-in-law, Dave and Dana, ever since I met Linda, you have accepted me into the Lindquist side of the family with incredible open arms. And the support and everything that you provided both of us on multiple trips to Michigan, and my going around the world and doing assignments without Linda, and separated at different times, and inviting her over for Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving, and everything that you've done. It just means so much to both of us, to both Linda and me. And we just want to say a very small thank you to you and your family, Hannah and Caroline as well, because you guys have been such a great part of our lives. And David, I remember to this day, Christmas time of 2000. Shortly after your dad passed away. And we sat in your driveway, and I said, "Can I marry your sister?" And you said yes, and I'm just very grateful. If you guys would please come forward, thanks. Flowers for you. That's okay.
Love you.
We can put that back over there. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing. These flags, a certificate will go with them. They have been flown over Maxwell Air Force Base as the last installation that I was able to serve at. So thanks to the Air Base Wing for that. To my mom, for all the times at 4 o'clock in the morning when we had to get up and go to ice time because I was playing ice hockey, to all the times where you had to gently encourage me to practice my trumpet when I didn't really want to all the times when I didn't want to work on merit badges, to getting us to soccer games and all the other high school events and everything else that goes on, and just the influence you've had in our lives, in my life and both in Linda's my life. If we could present you a flag, please, if you'd come up.
You landed it.
I'll keep it here. Thanks. To my dad, you inspired me to serve in the military. You inspired me to serve our nation, and I just thank you for that inspiration. If you would come up, please, one sec. So very, very early in the morning on the 1st of June, 1983, I gave my dad my first salute as a brand new officer in the United States Air Force when he commissioned me. So today what I'd like to do is symbolically give you my last salute as an officer in the Air Force and say thank you for all you've done to help us and help me through my service.
I think it should go the other way. I think junior officer ought to salute junior one.
I don't think so. This has been an absolutely amazing time in career that I cannot express words on how grateful I am for everyone's support. There are so many more people out there that I need to thank, but really what I want to thank is the youngest of the airmen that I had the absolute honor and pleasure to lead in peacetime and in combat. And while we never want to go to war and we never want to go to combat, it is what we're trained to do. And to have that responsibility to be able to watch out for our sons and daughters was absolutely phenomenal. To be able to lead with our NCO Corps that is better than any NCO Corps out there. The things that I've learned from our senior NCOs, and more importantly, the things that I've learned from the Chief Master Sergeants out there are really amazing, and I can't thank them enough. To my fellow officers at all ranks, all my wingmen, Goose has been my wingman for a long time, both junior and senior to me and at the same rank. I've learned so much, and I've been so blessed to be able to serve our nation and do so in a way that has been a lot of fun, allowed me to meet my amazing, incredible wife, and I'm stalling. So, sweetheart, please. This is in no way, let me just say, words cannot describe how much I'm blessed to have us together. And this is a very small way to say thank you for all the sacrifices that you've gone through, the multiple moves, the changing business plans, the different things, the distances, and everything else that is out there. I'm so proud of you and so proud to be your husband, and really, really looking forward to spending time together. Okay, thank you all very much for coming. Now it's time to go do the reception, get some cake.
The men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with Major General Bishop and wish him and Linda every success in their future endeavors. The Bishops thank you for attending this morning and invite you all to join them in the foyer for a reception. In keeping with tradition, we conclude today's ceremony with the playing of our Air Force song. At the conclusion of the Air Force song, please remain in your seats until the official party and family members are departed. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing.